You want a DNA test? Before my daughter's wedding? I asked, stunned. My sister smirked. If she's really family, you shouldn't have a problem proving it. Several relatives nodded. Glasses clinked somewhere behind me, but nobody was laughing anymore. The whole room had gone quiet, that thick kind of quiet where everyone is watching and nobody wants to be the first to speak. My daughter froze. Her face went pale, then red, humiliated in front of everyone she loved. I never expected what happened next. My name is Brooke Mitchell. I'm 36 years old, and for the last 18 years, I've raised my daughter mostly on my own. I work as a high school counselor. It's not a job that makes you rich, but it's a job that makes you patient. I've spent my days helping other people's kids figure out their lives while quietly figuring out mine. My daughter and I have always been close, the kind of close you build slowly, through late nights with homework and early mornings before school, and 1,000 small moments nobody else saw. It wasn't always easy. After my divorce, money was tight. I worked 2 jobs some years just to keep us afloat. My family never let me forget it either. Compared to my sister, who married well and lived in a house with a circular driveway, I was always the disappointment. The quiet one. The one who tried hard and still came up short in their eyes. I wasn't rich or glamorous. I didn't have a big house or a fancy car, but I had something they didn't expect. If you've ever felt judged for not being wealthy or impressive enough, I want you to know I see you. Hard work doesn't always get noticed. Sometimes the people who try the hardest get the least credit. If you've ever been underestimated by your own family, hit subscribe, because this story is for you. Have you ever had someone question your worth, your love, or your truth? Tell me in the comments. And if this story moves you, click hype before we go further, because what happened next still gives me chills. For the first time in years, wedding planning brought my family together. I should have known that wasn't a good sign. My sister started early, dropping little comments about how my daughter didn't really look like our side of the family. At first I brushed it off. Then it kept happening. At a family dinner 2 weeks before the wedding, she finally said it out loud. "I think we should just settle this," she said, setting down her fork. "A simple DNA test. For peace of mind." The table went silent. My daughter's hand trembled around her glass. "This is cruel," I said. "And completely unnecessary." "We just want the truth," an aunt added. Others nodded along, like agreeing with cruelty made it kinder somehow. Rumors spread fast after that. By the next morning, the wedding group chat had exploded with whispers and questions. Guests who had nothing to do with our family started asking if it was true that my daughter wasn't really mine. Then came the cruelest twist. Someone anonymously mailed a DNA test kit straight to the bride's doorstep. My family started shutting us out of decisions, deciding on flowers and seating charts without even telling me. My sister kept feeding the gossip, hinting that I had hidden some terrible secret for 18 years. At one gathering, my uncle made a joke about my daughter's parentage loud enough for half the room to hear. I felt the weight of every stare. The smell of the catered food on that table turned my stomach, because I knew what was coming with it. My daughter sat me down one night, eyes red. "Maybe we should just cancel the wedding," she whispered. "No," I said, steadying my voice even though my heart was breaking. "We are not letting them take this from you." That night, I stopped grieving and started thinking. If they wanted a fight, I would give them one they didn't see coming. The more I looked, the more I noticed the cracks. Stories that didn't line up. Dates that didn't match. While searching through an old email account, I found messages I had forgotten I'd saved. Conversations that hinted at exactly where the rumors had started. What they didn't know was, I'd been keeping records for years. Every cruel comment, every manipulative text, every snide remark whispered behind my back, I had saved it. Screenshots, voice notes, emails. I had built a quiet archive of every way my family had tried to tear me down. Without even realizing I was building a case. The DNA test demand wasn't really about doubt. It was about control. And I started to believe it was hiding something far bigger than anyone wanted to admit. I had a plan they never saw coming. I wasn't alone in this. My cousin, someone the family had mistreated for years too, reached out quietly one afternoon. She believed me from the start. "I've seen how they talk about you," she said. I have some of those messages too. Together we went through old group chats and saved conversations, piecing together a timeline. It became painfully clear that my sister had started the rumors herself, twisting half-truths into something poisonous. While we worked, my family grew bolder. They believed I had no defense, no proof, nothing but wounded pride. They began planning a final confrontation at the wedding reception itself. My cousin warned me first. "They're planning something," she said. "A public moment. Be ready." I felt my chest tighten, but not from fear this time. From readiness. The reception was beautiful, string lights glowing above white tables, soft music drifting through the air. Then my sister stood up, tapping her glass for attention. "Before we continue," she announced, "I think we deserve some honesty here. A DNA test, right now, would clear all of this up." Gasps spread through the crowd. My daughter's hands shook beside me. I stood up slowly and walked to the microphone. My voice came out calm, steady, colder than I expected. "You want honesty?" I said. "Let's give everyone honesty." I pulled out my phone and began reading messages aloud. One's from my sister admitting she wanted to knock Brooke down a peg before the wedding. The room fell silent. "This is fake," my sister snapped, panic creeping into her voice. My cousin stood up beside me, holding up screenshots on her own phone, matching every word. I played a recording next, my sister's voice clear as day, mocking my daughter's resemblance and laughing about starting the rumor herself. Relatives turned to stare at her instead of me. The aunt who demanded peace of mind looked down at her plate, unable to meet anyone's eyes. My daughter stepped beside me, chin lifted, steady for the first time all week. "She's my mother," she said clearly. "That has never been in question." Family members who once nodded along with my sister now turned their questions on her instead. The attempted humiliation had completely backfired, landing right back where it started. I didn't ask for an apology and I didn't seek revenge. I only wanted my daughter's name cleared, and it was. The wedding continued that night with laughter and dancing, the tension finally broken. My daughter danced with her new husband, glowing with relief instead of shame. One by one, relatives came to apologize, admitting they had been swept up in gossip without ever asking me directly. My sister grew quiet in the weeks that followed, her influence over the family fading as people remembered what she had done. I learned something that night I won't forget. Protecting my peace mattered more than chasing anyone's approval. I started setting boundaries I should have set years ago, choosing which relationships deserved my energy and which ones didn't. The people who demand proof of your worth often reveal the truth about themselves. If you've ever been embarrassed or falsely accused in front of people who were supposed to love you, I want you to know you're not alone. Share your story in the comments if you've ever had to defend your own reputation. Subscribe if this story reminded you of your own strength. Click hype so this can reach someone else who needs to hear it today. Thank you for staying with me through this story. If you connected with Brooke's journey, hit subscribe and share your own experience in the comments below. Every story carries power, especially the ones we're brave enough to tell. Click hype so someone else struggling with the same kind of judgment can find this and feel less alone. Thank you for being part of this community. I'll see you in the next story.